Hi folks, Don and Bob here, back in Prehistorica Park, interrupting the usual flip-flop of two pretty parks I've been working on for a challenge park. And we're starting outside the gate to cruise in, and you'll be getting to see a bit of the differences because money was coming in and I needed to run up big dollars to open dig sites and such. I was using little bits to throw in to improve the looks of the park. This is an ongoing process, but it's the way I run in my challenge games. So this little stand there was put in to help keep the guests happy, and the bridge across the Dryosaurus exhibit was put in order to get guests to the other side of that, and that's part of the Jurassic habitat area plan that I have for this park. You probably also noticed the large nursery, and I sort of skipped the middle one on this one. Right here you're looking at some of the moss-covered rocks from the most recent update. The change of the rocks meant I had to go in and mess with a number of them because they had not perfect matches, and in at least one case the rocks changed enough that animals could just walk out of the exhibit. So this is a little view area into the Nasutoceratops habitat, and we didn't look at that the last time. The purpose of this section of build in the park is to get out of the 2-star rating and get there comfortably so we can continue to expand the park. This is the first new animal in, and this is Scelidosaurus. Here he comes now from around the rock formation there. They have a little rock shelter here, and this animal, it doesn't offer any bonuses, and bonuses are a real good thing to have to get your park going and making a nice profit. So that's the overall overhead look at their habitat. The rock wall there sort of separates the Jurassic area from the rest of the park, and we're going to blow through the trees here and head back down toward the front section, and a little walk out here to the other side of the Nasutoceratops exhibit, which is showing off some of that beautification program to make the park look better. We've got a Nasutoceratops right here, so we'll take a look at him. I don't know what that jiggle is to the left. Anyway, this isn't finished either. It still needs railings. We don't want our guests falling in the water. We are blowing through those reeds. You probably caught a glimpse of something else, but we're going to come back to that. So off to the far side of this habitat from the entrance is a new habitat, and the Scelidosaur was the animal that let me get this animal. It's the first 3-star animal in this park, and it's from a formation that includes 3 animals. This is a strategy I regularly use, trying to open up those formations and get animals that will expand the park's popularity later. So it's Styracosaurus with that really great multi-horned frill. Very spectacular ceratopsian. The exhibit itself, of course, is just roughed in, as I regularly do in these challenge parks. The viewing areas are the basics that I need, and the strange shape there is with an eye to the future and expanding it, because I already know putting those other animals from the formation in with the Styracosaurus will require a lot more space for those animals. I've pulled out a little bit, and you can see the animal that made that possible. This is Microraptor, still in his basic cage. That's something I'm going to want to change in order to for now, they can happily live in their cage, and the guests don't care. And that's kind of important. Starting to get messages that with the park running, it's going to need some attention in order to keep the evaluations of the animals by the guests clear enough. So we've got to feed them and check off all those boxes. As is often the case when starting a game, you get that zoom in when you try to do that. You can see that this was happening during a period when just the Microraptors showed up in there. So there was a glitch going on in the game at that time, and it was forgetting the other animals were there. But you're watching this video and you can see they are. So I had to take a break to make sure things got fixed. You see me noticing the problem. It doesn't think there's an animal in there, so it won't feed it. So I tried a trick of moving the animal to see if that helped. That's something that does sometimes make things remember how it's supposed to work, but no, it wasn't working. So that was a problem. We're jumping now to the next animal to go in, which is Juxia, one of the new alternate species for Paraceratherium. Say that multiple times fast. And we've got a speed build going here, so you can see how that habitat came together. I did cut out a bunch of junk where I was trying to figure out what was going on with the zoo. And this is, of course, after I figured that out. And the devs did a patch to make it recognize the animals again. So we're going to put our animal in there. And Nigel, does his usual cool talks about what the animal is, and then a little bit more work on trying to make the habitat satisfactory for the animal's foliage requirement. And I didn't like what was happening with the water, so we did that. I decided to put two of them in here for the build by getting the Styracosaurus in. It stabilized things in the star rating so that I could get to other dig sites like the one this animal came from, and made it no problem at all to get 3-star animals. So Juxia is the first animal that we've gotten that has different star ratings for the alternate species, and just the first of several of them. The devs have gone back and made some changes in some of the other ones, which makes a lot of sense game-wise. A little jump there, and it's into building a shelter and care building for the Juxia. During the course of this, I noticed that despite the physical size and to all appearances of the animal, it could not go into this building as I built it. And that seemed to uncover that Juxia was still using the space requirement for its bigger kin, Paraceratherium. And it wouldn't go in the building because it thought it was bigger than it was. The devs were made aware of that, and one hopes that that's a bug that will be dealt with in good order. So you notice I decided to go on largely wood, and I wanted to make it a little more rustic. You'll see a change in that coming up, and the rooftop is gone green. The idea was to have the building be a bit more, how shall I say it, a bit more blendy into the background, because I plan on using this as an anchor for the mammal section of the park. It's tropical and temperate type environment makes it a transitional animal between the tropical and temperate animals that are dinosaurs. So it's off on one side of the park. And now a little bit of normal motion of having the animals walk around. First with the flashlight on, and second with the natural lighting in the dark, which means we're coming up to the end of this particular episode. Juxia puts the park solidly in 2-star territory, and the next visitation will move on to getting into 3-star territory, which in the past has been when the money really started to roll in. So thank you all for stopping by today. Next time we'll be back to our park rotation while I do more work on the challenge. Stuff is still happening on the development side and coming up pretty fast. So till then, you all be safe out there and be kind to each other. This is Dino Bob signing off for today, and I'll see you in another video soon, I hope. Bye now.